Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello, everybody. Today I'm interviewing Michael Swift, top producer, realtor, and the CEO of the Michael Swift team, a division of DeSelms Real Estate in Brentwood, Tennessee. For over 13 years, he's been determined to build and grow a real estate company that is unlike any agency in the country. Over the years, he's gained the experience and knowledge necessary to offer a successful team environment. He was born and raised in Nashville, which has gave him an above-average understanding of the area real estate as well as the local economic infrastructure. Welcome, Michael. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks, Eric. It's a pleasure being here.
Awesome. Michael, before we jump in, can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Well, sure. As you said, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I've lived here all my life. I love to travel. I'm engaged to be married in October to a beautiful princess from Morocco. I love food, wine, and good company. Real estate is a passion of mine, and I look forward to growing a successful and prosperous organization here. So, the real estate market's hot here in Nashville, and I'm just working a lot here. So,
cool.
Thanks for asking.
Well, and congratulations on the wedding. So does that mean you'll be a prince now if you're marrying a princess, or?
Exactly. And she speaks 4 languages. She speaks French, Italian, and Arabic, 4 dialects. So I feel like I'm a lucky guy. She's a great cook. So.
Oh wow, it does sound wonderful. Now you spoke about obviously real estate. What I'd like to ask you now is this something you always wanted to do, or is this something you stumbled into?
You know what, Eric? I never wanted to be in real estate, actually. I wanted to be a kung fu teacher and a chef when I was younger. I worked in the restaurant business for 8 years, from age 17 to 25. And I worked for 2 restaurant chains in particular that taught me a lot, a tremendous amount about systems and processes, or what most restaurateurs call SOP. Which actually means standard operating procedures, which is a concept I place heavy emphasis on in my real estate business today. Those 2 restaurants were TGI Fridays and Longhorn Steakhouse. And I was an in-store trainer for both, actually, and I managed Longhorn Steakhouse for 5 years, or 8 for their company. I traveled the country and opened at least 12 stores for them. I was responsible for P&L, hiring and training of employees, which taught me a great deal about managing and running a business. So it's really helped me quite a bit, actually. And having the opportunity to travel the U.S. broadened my horizons quite a bit. And I've always had a sense of adventure, so it was really fun. I had a great time. At the age of 25, I actually injured my wrist, and I couldn't work. And the transition from that business into real estate, this is where it happened for me. So at the age of 25, when I hurt my wrist, I really couldn't work, and I wasn't the type to sit at home and collect a check. So a friend of mine actually worked at a pull and spot company in town, and he got me a job selling high-end leisure products. Nobody needed this stuff, but it was a lot of fun and helping people get into it. But keep in mind, sales was not something I wanted to be in. It wasn't until actually experiencing being a part of the sales process did I realize it's truly about helping people make great decisions. And then I just fell in love with it. So here I am. Through a gentleman that worked with me at the pool company, I was introduced to a book written by Robert Kiyosaki called Cash Flow Quadrant. It changed my life and the paradigm of how I viewed the economic construct of our society. I realized from reading that book that real estate was what I wanted to do, and that was 13 years ago. So I took my classes, passed the appropriate tests, and had a job with a new home builder for about 1.5 years before actually obtaining my contractor's license, and then I entered the general real estate market. So that's the story, Eric.
That's very interesting, very impressive, actually. I love Robert's book about the quadrants there. It's the rich, poor, kid, what's that? Rich kid, poor kid, or something?
Rich
dad,
poor dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I say kid because I also got the kids version of it. So I don't know if you knew, but if you have kids, you have the version for kids also. Very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I tried to get my son to read it at an early age.
Yeah. Well, like I said, he actually did a version for kids too. So in case you didn't know, it's awesome. Now, let's talk about some of the attributes you have. You already alluded to some of them, but what do you think made it happen for you? What personal attributes do you have that make you successful?
I'm an extremely driven and focused individual. I'm a fighter with a big heart. When I set my mind to task, I don't give up. I'm a man of faith. I'm extremely professional. Personal appearance is important, and I always do what I say I'm going to do. I believe being a man or a woman of your word is extremely important in today's business environment, and it's timeless. My family security and well-being has always been a driving force in my life, and I believe that particular quality helps me serve my clients to the high level they deserve. And development of these traits over the years has come from a lot of strife and heartache. I was actually a child of divorce at the age of 5, the youngest of 5 kids, having 3 sisters and 1 brother. They were all, my oldest sister was or is like 14 years older than me. So, I was passed between parents and grandparents and siblings till the age of 13 when I finally moved in with my mom and stepfather in South Nashville. And I had to learn to survive adversity at a young age. My mother and brother both had major health issues that affected our family in a major way. And I had a child at the young age of 17. So, that was unique for a lot of folks, especially the people I talked to. And my father passed away when I was 19. So responsibility is something that came very early in my life. And I had to manage and care for my parents as well at the age of 26 due to their age and health. I did that for at least 4 years before they became too sick for me to care for them at home. It broke my heart when I couldn't afford an in-home nurse to care for them. So that's a driving force in my pursuit of success because I never want my family to be limited by finances ever again, if that makes sense.
Well, it certainly does. Now, can you give some examples of how this helped you get to where you are?
Absolutely. It's funny, practicing Kung Fu at a young age, believe it or not, was a critical character builder in my life. Kung Fu literally means hard work. And one of the creeds of this martial art was protecting others who cannot protect themselves. This trait of protectiveness has propelled me to speak out on behalf of others and make decisions that ensure I have a better chance of successfully protecting the people I love and care about, and my clients included in that. This is one of the reasons I decided to go to college and pursue education in regards to law, economics, and politics. Public service is something I have considered, and I was a community organizer for 5 years, officially in the capacity of a commissioner in Davidson County. Now, as a team leader in real estate, that same characteristic applies to the service to the realtors that come on board with me, as well as my clients. Delivering unmatched quality service to both my clients and my realtors, creating a culture of success and well-being within our organization. That's what we do here at the Michael Swift team.
Wow, that is impressive. It's funny you should talk about Kung Fu. I've done this myself when I was a kid, and I didn't know it meant real hard work, but I can tell you it is hard work. Funny.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the front yard of another Kung Fu student with the rest of the class, and our Kung Fu teacher, he was a world-class champion. He was in Kung Fu at an early age, around 4 or 5 years old. He was a full contact champion, and he beat the crap out of us. But I tell you what, we definitely appreciated it at the end of the day.
You learn a lot that way.
Absolutely.
With all these success, like anything in life, there's no straight line, right? There's always ups and downs. And then you already alluded to some of the major adversities growing up the way, in the environment you did. But going forward in terms of your career, going into real estate and moving on to becoming such a successful entrepreneur, can you talk about some of these specific major adversities you had to face?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've been in this business going on 13 years. Building this business through all my personal challenges has been one thing, but finding the right people to help me perform my duties better as a leader and realtor professional is another. I mean, where do you go to find good mentors? I actually have a business coach now, and I highly recommend that. But making sure the organization is trained properly is critical. And that takes a lot of time, a tremendous amount of time. And, developing duplicatable transition points can be extremely challenging due to human nature. Everyone's different. So we want something that can be cookie cutter, yet provide a high level of quality as far as activities are concerned. Developing systems and processes take an extremely long time, especially when you're doing something innovative like we are. Defining positions within the organization with job descriptions and duties, and then creating accountability measures to ensure quality service standards are met takes paying attention to the small details. And creating policies and procedures is a process, not an event. When creating a culture, all these things come into play and are interconnected. So every decision that is made, it takes intense contemplation on my part. And I do consult with my coach and even those involved in my organization right now. If we fail, our mentality is we fail forward, not backwards. So, we make adjustments for positive change. Does that answer your question, Eric?
Yes, it does actually. And that, you kind of answered the next question that I wanted to ask. Because one of the things we do with these interviews, we try to inspire some entrepreneurs that want to find ways to become successful. And one of the questions, what keeps you going when you face these hard, these big obstacles in your career and moving forward? So you kind of alluded to it by saying that you want to surround yourself with mentors and people who can help you through these moments, and also most importantly, in my opinion, is to, not more importantly, but also as importantly, is to generate some systems to follow. So, but can you elaborate a bit more in terms of what keeps you going?
Absolutely. We only have so much time on this earth. The past is there to remind us of where we were, and while we may make the decisions we do, but has no true impact on where we are going, because that decision's made today. We have a responsibility to follow our dreams. No other person in this world is going to do it for you. And I feel God has placed within my heart a vision for my personal success. And this vision is different for every person. Tomorrow's success is based on today's decisions. So I don't back down. I keep myself motivated by surrounding myself with professionals of a like mind, and I read and listen to motivational material. I understand that every time I try something, I get closer to the success I dream of. And my desire is to create a real estate concept that will change this industry.
Well, it kind of leads me into the next question is, in terms of your vision, you alluded to your vision. Where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, my business will experience explosive growth. I'm building systems, processes, and a culture that will innovate the real estate market. There's a better way to practice real estate as a professional and pursue the purchase and selling of real estate as a consumer as well. See, I want to streamline the process and make this complicated thing called real estate easy for all parties involved in the transaction. So don't be surprised to see a new national brand in the next 5 years.
Wow, that's inspiring. Do you want to talk a bit more about you're talking about how you want to change it. I don't want you to give us secrets or anything, but in terms of how you plan to continue to market yourself going forward, can you share with us a bit of that?
Sure, absolutely. We plan to market ourselves boldly. Quality is the brand, service is the engine, and our company concept will spread through the real estate community like wildfire when the time is right. And we're moving in that direction right now. So, web presence, print marketing, radio, and billboards are in our future. And I think that all avenues of marketing is important. Being top of mind in the industry helps produce, more transactions and reputation in the market. When someone hears the Michael Swift team, they see our brand, they see our logo, our name, I want them to associate quality. And not just from the consumer level, but the professional level, the realtor level. And that is where the key to success is, in my opinion. As far as the culture goes, serving the realtor that's a part of our organization, making it easier for them to do more transactions and provide a high level of customer service will allow them not only to make more money based on just general business, but referral business. There's one other thing that we do. We do a lot of lead generation. We do a lot of online marketing right now. I have a tremendous amount of leads, but I just don't give my agents those leads. I teach them how to work the CRM. I teach them how the sales process should start from contact all the way to close. I have staff in place to make that process easy for them. So all they have to do is talk to that person initially, meet with that person, whoever it may be, get hired to represent them on the purchase, or get hired to sell their house, or both. After that, securing and negotiating a contract. Once that contract has been negotiated, we have systems in place to manage the back end. So that agent can go work with more people. The one thing that I'm doing differently as well than other agencies that I'm aware of, Adam Smith's division of labor. It's very important, and I'm streamlining the process per position to make realtors' lives easier. See, we wear a lot of hats in this business. You don't have to wear all the hats anymore. I'm creating a concept that allows you to focus on one area of real estate that you absolutely love and still make a great amount of income. Actually, the same amount per hour as you can by yourself.
Well, one thing's for sure. I mean, you talk about systems and processes, and I've heard this before, but I can tell you walk the talk. That's for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We work really hard to streamline this process and perfect it.
That's awesome. One thing I'd like to discuss now is kind of the perception, or let's talk about the misconceptions out there about working with a realtor. What, in your opinion, is the biggest misconception or the myth that people have about working with a realtor, and maybe you want to debunk it?
I love this question. I think it's so hilarious because the biggest misconceptions out there about working with a realtor is that we just show houses, we just put a sign in the yard, and that's it. There is so much work that goes into marketing someone's home. It is unbelievable. We probably make 75 to 95 phone calls per transaction. That's not including email communications, courier services potentially. The process of selling a home is going to be very different than, helping someone on the purchase of a home, but both are equally intense. And you want someone that's professional, that knows what they're doing, to create a nice experience. But that misconception out there that we just put a sign in the yard and we just go show houses, that's probably the biggest misconception. And it's just it really gives, if someone has that type of mentality, it makes it it can make it challenging. And as far as as far as realtors are concerned, not every realtor is created equal. I mean, They're the agents out there who are the true professionals who represent their clients just like an attorney would go into a courthouse. And then there's those agents out there that, they just do the minimum to get by. We're not that agent.
Well, this brings me to the final question that I have for you, because it's been extremely interesting and valuable. But what if you were to give one piece of advice to our listeners in terms of what should they do to increase their odds of purchasing or selling a home at the right price? Or, in the same vein, if you were to talk to somebody that's outside of your territory and you wanted to give them some advice on how to go about finding the right realtor, how would you go about doing that? So it's kind of two questions in one, but I think you can do it.
Sure. I appreciate it, Eric. So, what I would advise is to work with a true professional in the industry. You want a realtor who does a lot of business, who has a successful team and staff. The single agent does not have the capability to serve clients to the degree a team can. And it can cost you a lot of time and money. See, the Nashville market is extremely hot. If you don't have an agent that is familiar with multiple offer situations and can craft an offer that allows for a successful contract for you, then you may lose the house of your dreams. And I recommend that you do your homework, or let us do it for you and refer you an agent in our national network of realtor professionals. So you don't have to go it alone.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes a lot of sense, and it's great advice. And now I want to thank you very, very much for taking the time to sharing these stories with us and these tips with us. I'm definitely going to recommend people to look you up, and that's my final question. How can our listeners learn more or get in touch with you?
Oh, yeah, I really appreciate it. So, go to themichaelswiftteam.com, or you can call or text me personally at 615-456-4982. And if you're interested in joining our organization, please go to swiftsalesforce.com to apply. It's fast, easy, and it's worth it. Perfect.
Well, once again, a huge thank you. So if there's, did you have anything else you want to say?
You know what? If you're in the Nashville market or you're out of state and you're moving to the Nashville market, call the Michael Swift team, look us up, make sure you're represented by the best. Not all realtors are created equal. And if you're going to have heart surgery, you wouldn't want a surgeon in residency performing on you. You'd more than likely want a well-known surgeon that has proven his craft on the operating table. Well, purchasing and selling a home is such a large financial decision. I believe that hiring a proven team can help you buy or sell your home fast for the most money and with the least amount of hassle.
Well said. Thank you so much, Michael. Once again, a huge thank you. And I hope you have an amazing summer in the next 5 years too.
Oh, you're welcome, Eric. And thank you too. I really appreciate having me today on your show.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.